guys, I'm back today with a Project Life week 47 of 2015. I think I only have maybe one more week of 2015 left because I did my December daily and that captured the last several weeks of December. So I am pretty excited that I am almost finished with the year and I will be starting on my 2016 album. I haven't started on it yet, so I'm pretty excited about starting that as well. So for this card, I am just using a card that I had in my stash. It's a 4x6, and this piece of vellum is from a crepe paper collection, and it's just some pieces that I had left from a die cut pack. I was going to put this on directly the paper, but I thought it blended in a little too much with the colors, so I ended up sticking it on a piece of white cardstock just so it popped off the page just a little bit more. And it just says month on it. And then I had another little piece, or not a piece, a rub-on that I'm going to put on top of this that says November that I got from Scraptastic. I think it might also be crepe paper, and those rub-ons were fantastic. I'm going to use a couple of them in this on this spread. So this is only going to be a one-page spread, so that's why it's a little bit quicker video than normal. I didn't have as many pictures this week, so I kept it down to just the one page. And like I said, here's that November little rub-on, and it comes off perfectly. It is really awesome. So now I'm going to be using these stickers from Simple Stories. They're just little tile stickers, and I'm just going to spell out week WK. And I'm going to use stickers for the number 47, and they're going to be this really cute pink glittery font thicker that I thought went really well with the little rose that's on this page. So that is what they look like right there. They're kind of a real thin and big font, and I really like that. So I'm just going to kind of move this around a little bit until I get it where I want. I am going to end up putting the 47 up a little higher. There you go. And I'm going to then put the week a little closer to the 47, just so it kind of tucks in underneath that 4 a little bit more, because I thought that might look nice. And then after that, I'm going to use some tape that I have in my stash, and it just is this kind of cellophane tape, kind of like if you would use like Scotch tape. So it's clear, and it's got like a shiny surface, but it has these doily-ish pattern on it, and I really, really like this. And I don't use it very much because usually when I think of using washi tape, I'm thinking of like that more like paper-based tape and not this shinier stuff. But I thought it went really well on this particular layout because it does have a lot of kind of lacy, vintagey look to it. So I'm going to put a little strip at the top like I did, and then I'm going to put another strip at the bottom, and I'm just going to take it all the way across the bottom. And I want that lacy edge to go all the way towards the bottom of the card, so I'm going to end up having to trim off some of the excess tape that is left behind. And it actually didn't cut as nicely as I expected to. It kind of got caught up there and was just kind of giving me some trouble. But it ended up coming off okay in the end. I just had to trim it up a little bit more and play with it. So that is it for the title card. Oh, nope. I got to trim some more. There you go. So that's it for the title card, and then I'm going to move on to the next card in the spread. And it is going to be this little birthday card, and this is from a crepe paper birthday collection, and no one was having birthdays or anything, and I don't have a boy or have pictures of birthday boy, so I thought what I'd do is just cover up the birthday boy with a little circle that I punched out with one of my craft punches, and I just used some scrap paper that I found in my stash. And then another one of those awesome crepe paper rub-ons. And I'm going to use a little piece of flair. It's perfect. It's this little bitty tiny flair, and it's going to be perfect because the picture on the left is a picture of my daughter's homework, and she was doing really, really good, and it got a really good grade on the paper. So I wanted to note that in my project life and then put that little flair. But the flair is actually going to go on the outside of the page protector instead of on the card. It's just going to fit better in the layout. So now I'm just going to take my Le Pen marker that I just got when I went shopping this weekend, and I'm going to use that in my journaling, and I'm just going to use some stitching lines around the circle and around that banner just to kind of tie everything together and make it look nice. And that is what that card's going to look like. And that's a good way to use cards that don't necessarily fit with your theme of your layout. You can just cover up pieces that don't work and make it work for what you're doing. Next, I am going to work on another picture and then a card. I'm going to use another one of those triangular rub-ons from that crepe paper collection, and then this time I'm using a frame that I cut out from a piece of pattern paper that I had. I had a bunch of, it had like a bunch of frames on it, and I just cut them all out, And I'm using them here and there in my project life, and I'm going to end up using 2 on this spread. And so I'm going to glue that down, and then I'm going to take the rub-on and put in the upper left-hand corner just to point to the picture that I'm going to be talking about. And that's just going to go right there and then rub on. And then I'll add some journaling in the actual frame using that same blue pen. And I just really like how smooth they rub on. So I'm going to add a little piece of wood veneer in the corner or the edge of that triangle, and then do some journaling. And I'll use some more wood veneer throughout the page. So you'll see that in a little bit. And then I'm also going to, oh no, I'm not going to put stitching. I'm going to put stitching around the other frame that I am going to be using. So next, this is just a picture of my kitty cat. He's kind of hard to see because he's black, so he kind of blends into the background, but I'm only adding just this little nice vellum banner that has some stitching on it, again from that same crepe paper collection that the little month vellum piece came from. And then here is a picture of my daughter, and she is wearing jammies because they got a good reward at school, and they were able to wear jammies at school that day. So I just thought that little wood veneer with a little asterisk, I thought, you know, kind of denoting that was a special day, was a good addition to this card. And then here is a picture of my nieces and nephews and my daughter. And my nephew was in a play. The one on the far right was on a play, and I wanted to make sure I captured that moment with all of the kids together. So it was really cool. The plays are really awesome. I'm really impressed with the high school plays. We've went to see, I believe, 2 or 3 of them so far, and I've just been really impressed. Really great job that they put together. Great production. So here is some more of the rub-ons. This time it's just a chevron, and I'm going to add this November vellum piece also from that crepe paper die cut pack, and I'm going to add a little wooden potty person because I don't get to use boys all that much because I don't really take a lot of boy pictures, so it was perfect. I was glad to use him because, like I said, I don't get to use him very often. And then I had these little glasses from a Scraptastic kit that I had that I thought was perfect because my nephew is wearing glasses in this picture and they kind of look like these, so I thought it was perfect. And then I'm also going to journal in this frame with that same blue pen and do some stitching around the frame. So that is what I'm going to do here. And I'm just going to say break a leg in the top here because I thought, well, because it is a play, why not? And I felt like it needs just a little bit more up in that top portion. So I'm just going to put some dashed stitching kind of lines all the way around the frame, just to tie everything in nice and just give it a little added extra detail that it didn't have before. And I believe that is it for this card. And there's a close-up of the vellum, or not vellum, I'm sorry, the glasses. And now I'm going to work on this card. Now this rub-on was not from the crepe paper collection, and it was a beast to rub on. So I'm actually going to fast forward for this process because you don't want to see me rubbing this die cut on. It eventually comes off, but it definitely was not easy. So here is the final product. I like how it turned out. It didn't lay on perfect, but you know, with it all being kind of a sketchy look, it didn't really matter that it wasn't exactly perfect. So now I have this little white flower button for my stash, and I am going to attempt to put this baker's twine through it. I really wanted the black and white baker's twine, so I'm going to try to twist it, try to stick it in the hole. I'm going to try to glue the end of the twine to make kind of like a pokey needle. Nothing's going to work. It's not going to let me put in the 2 pieces of twine, so ultimately I'm going to get kind of frustrated and I'm just going to pull it apart and use only the black. So in the end it worked out just fine, but it definitely was not being nice to me. So like I said, I finally gave up and just pulled it apart and just used the black and said, forget it. And you can see I keep trying. I'm trying to poke my little tweezers in there. It's just not working. So there we go. Pull it apart, just use the black twine and then call it a day. And I'm just going to tie this in a knot. I'm not going to tie it in a fancy bow or anything like that. I just want a little something. I never like to have a button or a tag or anything without some kind of thread or anything in the middle. Every once in a while I'll do it, but generally speaking, I like to have something in the middle of it. It just looks naked without having that something in the middle. So there you go. I'm gluing it down and I am adding it to the card. And then that is that card done. So now I'm just going to take some of these stickers. I thought that that pink glittery font needed to be kind of more throughout the layout. So I'm going to take the glittery stickers here with the pink ones, and I'm just adding 50 because it was that they got 50 horseshoe hoorays, and that's why they ended up getting this pajama day. So I wanted to add that number in here just again to tie those stickers and those colors throughout the layout. And then I'm also going to put the stickers in two other cards, two other pictures, and then that's going to be pretty much it for this layout. It's going to have just these stickers here just to add the little dots, and then I am going to add a little exclamation point to the picture of my nieces and nephews at the play. So I just want to thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, and if you're not already a subscriber, please do so. I would love to have you over here, and if you have any questions about the layout or anything else, just leave that in the comments below. I'll talk to you later. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.